This time I will explain about 13 health benefits of coffee, based on science. Coffee is actually very healthy. It is loaded with antioxidants and beneficial nutrients that can improve your health. The studies show that coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of several serious diseases. Here are the top 13 health benefits of coffee that have been confirmed in actual human studies. 1. Coffee can improve energy levels and make you smarter. Coffee can help people feel less tired and increase energy levels. This is because it contains a stimulant called caffeine, which is actually the most commonly consumed psychoactive substance in the world. After you drink coffee, the caffeine is absorbed into the bloodstream. From there, it travels into the brain. In the brain, caffeine blocks an inhibitory neurotransmitter called adenosine. When that happens, the amount of other neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and dopamine actually increases, leading to enhanced firing of neurons. Many controlled trials in humans show that coffee improves various aspects of brain function. This includes memory, mood, vigilance, energy levels, reaction times, and general cognitive function. 2. Coffee can help you burn fat. Did you know that caffeine is found in almost every commercial fat-burning supplement? There's a good reason for that. Caffeine is one of the very few natural substances that have actually been proven to aid fat burning. Several studies show that caffeine can boost the metabolic rate by 3 to 11%. Other studies show that caffeine can specifically increase the burning of fat by as much as 10% in obese individuals and 29% in lean people. However, it is possible that these effects will diminish in long-term coffee drinkers. 3. The caffeine can drastically improve physical performance. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system, causing it to send signals to the fat cells to break down body fat. But caffeine also increases epinephrine, adrenaline, levels in the blood. This is the fight-or-flight hormone, designed to make our bodies ready for intense physical exertion. Caffeine makes the fat cells break down body fat, releasing them into the blood as free fatty acids and making them available as fuel. Given these effects, it is not surprising to see that caffeine can improve physical performance by 11 to 12% on average. Because of this, it makes sense to have a strong cup of coffee about a half an hour before you head to the gym. 4. There are essential nutrients in coffee. Coffee is more than just black water. Many of the nutrients in the coffee beans do make it into the final drink. A cup of coffee contains riboflavin, vitamin B2, choline, 11% of the RDA, pantothenic acid, vitamin B5, choline, 6% of the RDA, manganese and potassium, 3% of the RDA, magnesium and niacin, B3, choline, 2% of the RDA. Although this may not seem like a big deal, most people are drinking more than 1 cup per day. If you drink 3 to 4, then these amounts quickly add up. 5. Coffee may lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a gigantic health problem, currently afflicting about 300 million people worldwide. It is characterized by elevated blood sugars in the context of insulin resistance or an inability to secrete insulin. For some reason, coffee drinkers have a significantly reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The studies show that people who drink the most coffee have a 23 to 50% lower risk of getting this disease, one study showing a reduction as high as 67%. According to a massive review that looked at data from 18 studies with a total of 457,922 individuals, each daily cup of coffee was associated with a 7% reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. 6. Coffee may protect you from Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Alzheimer's disease is the most common neurodegenerative disease and the leading cause of dementia worldwide. This disease usually affects people over 65 years of age. Unfortunately, there is no known cure for Alzheimer's. However, there are several things you can do to prevent the disease from showing up in the first place. This includes the usual suspects like eating healthy and exercising. But drinking coffee may be incredibly effective as well. Several studies show that coffee drinkers have up to a 65% lower risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. 7. Caffeine may lower the risk of Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disease, right after Alzheimer's. It is caused by death of dopamine-generating neurons in the brain. Same as with Alzheimer's. There is no known cure, which makes it that much more important to focus on prevention. In studies, coffee drinkers have a much lower risk of developing Parkinson's disease, with a reduction in risk ranging from 32 to 60%. In this case, it appears to be the caffeine itself that is causing the effect. People who drink decaf don't have a lower risk of Parkinson's. 8. Coffee appears to have protective effects on the liver. The liver is an amazing organ that carries out hundreds of important functions in the body. Several common diseases primarily affect the liver, including hepatitis, fatty liver disease and others. Many of these diseases can lead to a condition called cirrhosis, in which the liver has been largely replaced by scar tissue. It turns out that coffee may protect against cirrhosis. People who drink 4 or more cups per day have up to an 80% lower risk. 9. Coffee can fight depression and make you happier. Depression is a serious mental disorder that causes a significantly reduced quality of life. It is incredibly common and about 4.1% of people in the U.S. currently meet the criteria for clinical depression. In a Harvard study published in 2011, women who drank 4 or more cups per day had a 20% lower risk of becoming depressed. Another study with 208,424 individuals found that those who drank 4 or more cups per day were 53% less likely to commit suicide. 10. Coffee drinkers have a lower risk of some types of cancer. Cancer is one of the world's leading causes of death and is characterized by uncontrolled growth of cells in the body. Coffee appears to be protective against 2 types of cancer. Liver cancer and colorectal cancer. Liver cancer is the 3rd leading cause of cancer death in the world, while colorectal cancer ranks 4th. Studies show that coffee drinkers have up to a 40% lower risk of liver cancer. One study of 489,706 individuals found that those who drank 4 to 5 cups of coffee per day had a 15% lower risk of colorectal cancer. 11. Coffee does not cause heart disease and may lower the risk of stroke. It is often claimed that caffeine can increase blood pressure. This is true, but the effect is small, 3 to 4 millimeters Hg, and usually goes away if you drink coffee regularly. However, the effect may persist in some people, so keep that in mind if you have elevated blood pressure. That being said, the studies do not support the myth that coffee raises the risk of heart disease. In fact, there is some evidence that women who drink coffee have a reduced risk of heart disease. Some studies also show that coffee drinkers have a 20% lower risk of stroke. 12. Coffee may help you live longer. Given that coffee drinkers are less likely to get many diseases, it makes sense that coffee could help you live longer. There are actually several observational studies showing that coffee drinkers have a lower risk of death. In 2 very large studies, Drinking coffee was associated with a 20% lower risk of death in men and a 26% lower risk of death in women over a period of 18 to 24 years. This effect appears to be particularly strong in type 2 diabetics. In one study, diabetics who drank coffee had a 30% lower risk of death during a 20-year study period. 13. Coffee is the biggest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. For people who eat a standard Western diet, coffee may actually be the healthiest aspect of the diet. That's because coffee contains a massive amount of antioxidants. In fact, studies show that most people get more antioxidants from coffee than both fruits and vegetables combined. Coffee is one of the healthiest beverages on the planet, period. Do not forget like, share, and subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.